Well, opioids aren't the only black market the Mexican cartel profits from here in the United States. They also line their pockets with marijuana money. Now, the state of Oklahoma is struggling to crack down on foreign groups using the state's land to farm it. New numbers from the state's Bureau of Narcotics estimates that more than 70% of the illegal growth operations have international ties. So we're not just talking the cartels, but the Italian mafia, the Chinese Communist Party. They're all cashing in, and it's undercutting the profits of the legitimate businesses following the law. NewsNation's Alex Capriello talked to one family that says the state of Oklahoma is to blame.
131 years ago, W.B. Johnson set down his family roots on the frontier, before Oklahoma was even a united state. 5 generations later, his great-great-grandson, Joey Mybergen, is still running Johnson's Seed Company, a giant in the farming industry.
What do you think your great-great-grandfather would think if he saw everything that surrounds you to this day?
He'd be amazed. The technology has just been exponential, even in the last 20, 25 years when we started plant breeding.
For more than a century, the family business thrived, selling seeds, grain, cattle, and beautiful Bermuda grass. But even some of the longest running and most successful dynasties require the ability to pivot and take on risk in order to grow.
What were your hopes when entering the marijuana industry?
To me, it was a form of agriculture. You grow it like you grow tomato.
All right, here we go. For as far as the eye can see, Primal Cannabis is growing hundreds of thousands of marijuana plants on its 160 acres of Oklahoma farmland. Partially funded by the historic Johnston Seed Company, the business sells joints, extracts, flowers, and vapes.
This is some of our bittersweet that we just got done harvesting. We just sent this off for testing.
But despite the impressive rollout, business isn't booming. To them, it's a statewide problem. Cheap licenses for cheaper land, a genuine lack of guidelines, and loose restrictions open the floodgates to organized criminal networks. Anyone with a little bit of money could settle down in the Sooner State. And they did.
In year one, as soon as it opened, it was like we're off to the races. They weren't regulating anybody bringing anything in from out of state.
To you, it feels as if the government of Oklahoma let everyone down.
Oh yeah, this could have all been handled a lot differently.
NewsNation has told you all about these criminal cartels. Authorities say international syndicates use slave labor in inhumane working conditions to grow their pot and sell it on the black market. And it's not just the Chinese Communist Party. The Oklahoma Bureau of Narcotics has discovered ties to Mexico, Armenia, Bulgaria, Russia, and even the Italian mob. This is video from a recent raid where authorities sling-loaded illegal marijuana to be destroyed. But the fight is never ending, and legitimate license holders are getting their profits cut out from under them. Thanks to the competition from the illegal cartels here in the state of Oklahoma, it's drastically impacted the price of the products on the shelves. Take, for example, this quarter pound of medicinal marijuana. 5 years ago, this would have sold for more than $800. Now, Primal Cannabis says they're lucky to get $200 for it.
Are you able to say year over year how much you've lost?
We've lost millions.
Primal Cannabis has had to adapt to survive among the black market competition. It let go of about 80% of its workforce. It drastically cut down the amount of planting that is done outdoors, and the company has had to make some hard decisions about if this business is one they want to actually stay in.
Hindsight's 2020. If we could go back to 2018, I seriously doubt we would jump into this venture.
From a cost perspective, it's a legitimate calculation. Electricity costs $9,000 a month. Labor, $35,000 a month. And the fencing alone around the perimeter of the farm costs $250,000. But these are expenses most illegal operations are ignoring. To the legitimate license holders doing things by the book, that's unfair.
They probably are still paying for electricity, but I know that they didn't spend $500,000 on a fence.
Right.
And I know that they didn't spend $20,000 on a security system.
The governor, state regulators, and law enforcement say they're cracking down on illegal operations. Commercial grow licenses have become harder to get. And the Attorney General says a first-of-its-kind task force has run out thousands of illegal marijuana farms in the state. But for those legitimate Oklahoma farmers, it's too little, too late.
We had such high hopes for what medical cannabis could bring to the state, and it's kind of a shame what's happened to it.
Since 2021, the Oklahoma Bureau of Narcotics says the number of people registering to grow marijuana in Oklahoma has dropped from 10 to 3,000.
Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.